Most people don't get betrayed out of nowhere. The truth is, the signs were always there. They just didn't see them in time. Or worse, they saw them and ignored them. Because when you trust someone, your brain doesn't want to believe they could hurt you. So you explain things away. You make excuses. You tell yourself, it's probably nothing. But sometimes that nothing is exactly where everything begins to fall apart. And by the time you finally see it clearly, it's already too late. We all want to believe the people close to us are real. Friends, partners, co-workers, the ones we laugh with, open up to, depend on. Because trust feels good. It gives you a sense of safety. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Betrayal rarely comes from strangers. It comes from people who had access to you. People who knew your weaknesses. People who knew exactly how to hurt you, if they ever chose to. And that's why it cuts so deep. Because it's not just about what they did, it's about who they were to you. And maybe who you thought they were. But here's the scary part. Betrayal is rarely random. It follows patterns, subtle shifts, small changes in behavior that most people overlook. And once you learn to see those patterns, you start noticing things you can't unsee. Here are 6 signs someone is about to betray you. Sign number 1, they become unusually secretive. Now everyone deserves privacy. That's normal. But this is different. This is when someone who used to be open with you suddenly starts hiding things. They get defensive over simple questions. They avoid eye contact. They change topics quickly. Or they start saying things like, why are you asking so much? Here's what's really happening. Secrecy creates distance. And distance makes it easier for someone to act against you without guilt. Because the less connected they feel to you, the less accountable they feel. And that's where it starts getting dangerous. Sign number 2, their behavior becomes inconsistent. One day they're warm, friendly, and supportive. The next day, they're cold, distant, or irritated. No clear reason, no explanation, just a shift. At first, you might think they're just having a bad day. But when this pattern repeats, it's not random anymore. Inconsistency often means internal conflict. They're struggling between how they feel and what they're planning. And that emotional tension starts leaking into their behavior. So if someone feels different every time you see them, pay attention. Because consistency is one of the first things that disappears before betrayal. Sign number 3, they start distancing themselves emotionally. This one is subtle. There's no argument, no big fight, just less connection. Conversations feel shorter, less meaningful. They stop sharing things with you. They don't seem as interested in your life anymore. It feels like they're there, but not really there. And this is where most people make a mistake. They ignore it. They think, maybe they're just busy. But emotional distance is rarely random. It's preparation. Because it's easier to betray someone when you've already disconnected from them. Sign number 4. They show subtle disrespect. Not obvious, not loud, but small things. Little comments that feel off, jokes that cross a line, a tone that feels slightly dismissive. At first you brush it off because it's not that bad. But here's what no one tells you. Disrespect always starts small. Because if they showed their true intentions immediately, you would walk away. So instead, they test boundaries. They see what you tolerate. And every time you ignore it, they push a little further until respect is completely gone. And once respect is gone, betrayal becomes much easier. Sign number 5, they avoid honest conversations. Whenever something serious comes up, they shut down, or they deflect, or they turn it back on you. You try to talk about how you feel, and suddenly you're the problem. Or they say things like, you're overthinking. But deep down, you know something isn't right. Here's why this matters. Honest conversations create clarity, and clarity exposes intentions. So if someone is planning to betray you, the last thing they want is clarity. They want confusion, because confusion keeps you quiet, and silence gives them space to do what they want. And sign number 6, your intuition keeps warning you. This is the one people ignore the most, that gut feeling, that quiet voice in your head saying, something feels off. You can't explain it. You don't have proof, but you feel it. And instead of trusting it, you doubt yourself. You tell yourself you're being paranoid. But here's the truth. Your brain notices patterns before you consciously understand them. Small changes, energy shifts, things that don't add up, and it just sends you signals. That feeling, it's not random, it's information. And ignoring it is one of the biggest mistakes you can make. Now, here's where it all comes together. Individually, these signs seem small, almost harmless, easy to ignore. But together, they tell a story, a pattern. And most people don't get hurt because there are no signs. They get hurt because they ignored the pattern. They kept giving chances. They kept hoping things would go back to normal. But the truth is, once the pattern starts, it rarely goes backward. So, what should you actually do? First, pay attention to patterns, not excuses. Anyone can explain one moment, but patterns don't lie. Second, stop ignoring red flags just because you care about the person. Your emotions can blind you, but reality doesn't change just because you want it to. And third, protect your energy. Not everyone deserves full access to you. Trust should be earned, not blindly given. And once it's broken, it should never be handed back so easily. At the end of the day, not everyone who smiles at you is on your side. Not everyone who talks to you supports you. And not everyone close to you is loyal to you. But the sooner you accept that, the stronger you become. Because awareness doesn't make you paranoid, it makes you prepared. And being prepared can save you from a pain you never saw coming. If this made you think differently, or helped you see something more clearly, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe for more deep psychology and real life insights, and drop a comment below. Which sign have you experienced before? Because sometimes sharing your story helps someone else see the truth before it's too late.